Are lower splits better when it comes to multifamily syndications? This was a question that came up the other week during one of my Facebook live streams, and I thought it was a really good one. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how splits work when it comes to syndications and investing and how they impact your returns and your overall investment. So make sure you hit the subscribe button right now so you don't miss more videos about building wealth through multifamily real estate. And if you don't know me, I'm Seth Ferguson, a 13-year real estate veteran, host of a real estate TV show, host of a real estate investing podcast, and I'm also the author of the real estate book, Sell for More. So let's get right into it and talk about splits when it comes to syndications. The first question is, what are splits? And splits are basically how the proceeds of a deal are paid out between both parties in a syndication. And we know from past deals, we have LPs, the limited partners, the passive investors, and we have the GPs, the general partnership, the people running the deal, the active parties in it. I'll put a link right up here to a video I did explaining how both these parties come together to syndicate an apartment deal, but this is not what we're talking about today. Today we are focused purely and solely on splits. So let's talk about how the LPs, limited partners, make your money in a multifamily real estate syndication. So we've got two ways. So we have cash flow, and then we have sale or divestiture if we want to get all fancy today. So the cash flow. So what happens is every month or every quarter, depending on how the syndication is set up, we have free cash flow. After the expenses are paid, after the debt is paid, after reserves are met, so we always keep money apart for a rainy day. And then if we have any capex, so if we're doing any renovations, if any of that money is being used for that, that is also allocated. After all of that, we have profit, we have free cash flow. So how is that going to be paid out to both parties? Well, that is a split. And splits can range from 80-20 in favor of the limited partners. We can do 60-40, we can do 70-30, and everywhere in between, it can really range. It really depends on the deal. And the same thing happens when we sell the property. So we've pumped the appreciation, forced the appreciation of the asset using the value add strategy, and I'll put a link right up here to a video I did explaining everything about the value add and how we put it into effect. So we forced the value of the asset, so now we sell, and now it's time for us to receive our profits. And again, splits dictate on how much of the profits get shared to the LPs and how much get shared to the GPs. So splits are really saying, okay, while we're investing in this deal, all the profit we make, this is how the money is going to be allocated. So the question is, as a passive investor investing in a deal, we all want to make the most money and have our money earning the highest return possible. That's why we're investing. This is why we are putting our money into a deal. So the question is, what makes a good split? Obviously, everybody likes a deal. We're all on the hunt for a bargain. So it may be tempting to say, oh, well, this one deal is offering a very, very low split in favor of the general partner. Maybe they're only doing 80-20 or 90-10, let's say, or something like that. My money's going to be working harder in this deal. Well, I want to caution you, and this is why I wanted to do this video. And I thought the question during the Facebook live stream was really good. And I do these live streams once a week on Facebook. Check out the link in the description for a free Facebook group. Great bunch of people in there, and everybody's learning and encouraging each other as they invest in multifamily real estate deals. So it can be tempting to say, okay, well, this one split is really low. My money's going to be working harder. But is that really the case? I would argue no. And I want to walk you through a couple, scenarios or ways of thinking about it that may shift your thinking and put you on a more strong path for your investing. So the first thing to consider is if we have a very low split. Okay, so is this really a marketing tactic? Do we have a really low split, but then maybe we have much higher fees, right? Because what happens is we have the split, this is how everything's distributed, but we also have fees that are charged by the general partnership. An acquisition fee, construction management fee perhaps, maybe it's a refinance fee. There are many different ways that fees can be worked into a syndication depending on the specific deal. So maybe the fees are higher if they're advertising a lower split. Maybe that's how they're trying to enter the market or advertise their deal. We have really low splits, come invest with us, but then they're charging a lot higher fees to make up for that amount. Well, here's the thing that you should consider in this case. Well, fees are paid no matter what. Splits are paid based on performance. So as a passive investor, you actually want the general partnership, the people running the deal, to be rewarded for their efforts if they perform on it. So with an asset management fee or something like that, that's being paid no matter what happens. If nothing's getting paid out here, if there are no profits, the asset management fee is going to be paid. So is this really the best setup or scenario for you as a passive investor? I would argue no, because you actually want the general partnership, the person managing your money, making the decisions about the deal, to be incentivized by actually making money when the deal is going well. If we have too low of a split, and this is the second thing I want to talk about, if we have too low of a split and the general partner doesn't have a big enough piece of the pie, where is their incentive to actually perform on the deal? Let's say the market gets choppy, right? And the deal needs a lot of attention. And the general partnership, maybe they have 8 properties that they currently own and that they're running. Maybe on one of the deals, for whatever reason, they offered a lower split. We are all human, right? Whether it's passive investors or general partners. Let's say things get really, really tough and they have to work hard on a deal. As a human being, would you put more effort into a deal that's going to give you a bigger paycheck and reward you for your time? Or would you put your time and effort into a deal that's not going to pay you peanuts because the split structure was wrong? I'm not saying most people would do that, but I'm just trying to share the message that the incentive has to be there. The carrot has to be there. If there's not a big enough piece of the pie to make it worthwhile for the general partner, how are they incentivized to put 110% into the deal and squeeze out every dollar and really put your money to work? It's like on Shark Tank. I enjoy watching Shark Tank, and we actually have Kevin O'Leary speaking at the Multifamily Conference in May 2022. So really excited about that. And we'll put a link down there so you can buy your tickets if you're interested. It's going to be an amazing event. But on Shark Tank, you'll hear lots of the sharks talking. They'll say, I don't get out of bed for 5%. I don't get out of bed for 10%. Well, the same thing happens with multifamily. You need the general partnership to be invested in the progress and the results of the deal, which is why you actually want them to have a split. So they're incentivized. If the deal's going well, you as the limited partner are going to get rewarded, but the general partnership wants to get rewarded too, and that's what's going to force them and have that carrot dangling in front of them. It's money, right? So you want them to be incentivized. So if there's a low split and high fees, well, the general partnership isn't really incentivized to do well because they're going to earn the fees no matter what. But if it's a higher split and lower fees, well, now we've really shifted it, and where the GP is going to be rewarded based on how well the deal does along with the limited partners. The other thing to keep in mind is these deals, you'll hold them for 5, 7 years, sometimes 10 years. Do you really want to be invested for that period of time with somebody who has no incentive to perform on the deal? It's a long period of time. There has to be that incentive, at the light at the end of the tunnel, the carrot, the lucky charms in the pot of gold, however you want to frame it or picture it. The incentive has to be there, and this is extremely important. And I think that especially for new investors coming in with capital, everybody loves getting a deal, but you have to really think about, okay, is my money in the best hands? Where are the alignments of interest? Is the general partnership, the person running the deal, really incentivized to make sure my money is working as hard as it can be? And I would argue that having lower fees but a higher split, sure, the general partner is going to be potentially earning more money in the deal if it goes well, but also the limited partnerships, I would argue, is going to do better because the general partner is more incentivized to really give that 110% effort. Do you agree or disagree? Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And if you are interested in learning more about investing in multifamily, join our free Facebook group, a great group of people. Come join us, say hi. We have live streams every week. And if you are an accredited investor and you're interested in learning more about the deals I'm currently looking at, head on over to callseth.com and set up a free 20-minute phone call with me. And if you like this video, if you found it useful, leave a comment, hit the like button, let me know what you think. And until next time, happy investing.